Welcome to Grimefest Digital. Grimefest, the radio show, if you want to call it. Maybe it's Grimefest News, the music, because you know what that's about. The podcast, it really don't matter because it's Grimefest everything. How you doing tonight or today? Whenever you're streaming this out in this digital world, I'm your host for this evening. I am The Complete Show, and welcome to Grimefest Digital. Today, we got a special guest. It's a DJ producer who just got off 2 shows in LA at the Hollywood Palladium with Sudden Death, Ominous, and Fizo, and who killed the stage in San Jose, also with Sudden Death, Eptic, and Fizo again. He reigns from DFW, actually from Louisville. I want to introduce Lee Jennings, but y'all may know him as Neonix. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, what's up, guys? This is Neonix, formal name Lee Jennings, if you catch on to any Twitter memes. I'm a part of a group called Sinister Six. I got a whole list of homies that are a part of that we can get to a little bit later, but I've been making dubstep and electronic music since about late 2011, 2012, so it's been a minute, but this year things are starting to pick up. Hopefully after all this COVID stuff dies down, we'll get back on the road and get out there and see some of y'all.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about where you're from. I mentioned it in the intro, but tell the homies where you're from.
I actually was born and raised Flower Mound, Texas. I currently live in Louisville, so I put on for North DFW. Here, hopefully, once things pick up and get rolling a little bit, I'll be able to upgrade here this summer, get a little house set up, and build a little studio. That way I'm not crammed into a tiny little room.
We repping the DFW scene, locally, nationally, and beyond. So for anybody listening to this interview, go ahead and shout out your social medias for us.
All right, so you can catch me on pretty much any social with the / Neonix dub. That'll be NEONIXDUB. That'll be SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. So if you give me a follow, a shout, anything like that, it would be much appreciated.
So make sure you're listening right now. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe another break to go ahead and follow my man Neonix, because, you know, we got a lot to talk about. So when it comes to the underground dubstep music scene, Neonix, what are your goals?
My goals, honestly, since I've been around for a hot minute, but I think this year is going to be the year that I start taking off a little bit. I've really dedicated myself to getting a lot of music finished, a lot of collaborations with a lot of my good friends that I've been around with forever. So this year, hopefully, the goal is to get some festy plays in a little bit later this year once it lightens up and start hitting the road a little bit more.
So, man, we're in serious times, and you know there's nothing we can do but sit back and wait. How are you handling this quarantine?
Honestly, right now, just been working on a lot of music, playing some games, doing some streams here and there, but I've got about 2 different EPs planned for this year so far that are near completion, and then I've got a couple self-releases I'm gonna be putting out here soon. So we're making the most of being stuck inside for a little bit here.
How did you come up with the name Neonix?
So honestly, I used to be in a bunch of metal bands, and I had some vices back in the day that got the best of me. Truthfully, I have no clue how I came up with the name, but I can tell you that I was a little bit crossed up, and it sounded cool, and I stuck it, and just ran with it, and I haven't ever bothered to change it. So it's got a nice charm to it. I think I'll keep it.
What do you think got you started in the bass music scene?
Bass music scene. So back circa 2008-ish, I was showing my first couple dubstep tunes way back in the day when the scene was just sprawling. I was in a couple of metal bands, and I was producing for the bands back then, recording stuff. I had one high school band in particular that was disbanded after a couple of months, but I kind of decided to pursue making electronic music at that point. I had already been dabbling in it, but just decided to kind of go, you know, shoulder deep, just jump in and see where it takes me.
It's going to be a hard question, but give me your 5 top metal bands, influences.
Oh, 5 top metal bands. So I think probably number 1 that I'm going to have to go with, I kind of grew up in my emo phase, if you will, on Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, Motionless in White was a good one. I liked Chiodos there for a little bit, and then Periphery for sure.
That's what influenced my man, and my man took them influences and he's smashing the game out here in North DFW, Louisville to be exact. Now that we know a bit about who Neonix is, Shed a little light on the Grimefest scene in Texas and other major music festivals you've played before.
Yeah, Grimefest has been around for a hot minute. I was super excited when they started up out here in the Texas areas, both, Dallas, Houston, Austin, all those places. It's good to have a semi-regular event out here because prior to that there wasn't much going on beyond stuff at Lizard Lounge back in the day, but it was cool to see that come up out here and be a part of that, especially towards the beginning. Hopefully we'll be back on track and I can get back out there for another one. Got some other big plays coming up to here this summer that I can't speak much about at the moment.
For sure.
But, keep y'all's eyes peeled over the next couple of months because I'm sure those will start to get announced as all the shelter-in-place stuff starts to lift.
Okay, so, man, I've heard there's all kinds of big fish playing your tracks, man. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've actually been friends with a lot of these guys that blew up over the past couple of years. Subtronics, Fizo, all these dudes, they've been repping me from the beginning, which I can't appreciate enough. And I think as I'm starting to develop myself more musically, I'm branching out to a lot of different areas that a lot of people might pick up on more, whether it be, quarter note rhythm tunes, drum and bass, heavier dubstep. I'm going to put out a little bit of something for everybody this year.
What are some of your favorite companies you've worked with nationally?
There's so many good ones. Shout out the Dub Hub and Ocular Boys that are up north. Those guys throw awesome shows. Hopefully I can get back out there at some point in the future. Bass Rush is a real good company. They've taken real good care of me so far this year. And we're looking to do hopefully some big things later this year. If the stars align, all that good stuff. Grimefest as always. Shout out my boys, Marco, Adrian, Jeremy, the whole team. Everybody's rocking it down here as well. There's so many good companies. I don't think I could put them all on one list.
For somebody who hasn't been to a Grimefest show before, so what can somebody expect from a Grimefest show?
If you're ever going for the first time, just be prepared to be woken up to a whole different kind of energy. The kids out here go nuts. Be prepared. I would say if it's your first time going to any kind of one of these shows, just be prepared for the energy for sure, because it's insane. There's a lot of different cities that envy the energy that Dallas puts out up here. So I'm very proud of that.
Grimefest is about the people, but it's about the music. Go ahead and introduce the track.
So this is going to be one of my later releases with Never Say Die Black label called The Driest Boy. Hope y'all dig it.
That was The Driest Boy by my man Neonix. So let's get back to this interview. So, obviously, it's been utter chaos with the whole coronavirus situation. How has the artist brand Neonix adapted to the times of today?
Truthfully, within the past couple of years, I've really stepped up my game to try to keep up with the marketing shifts, all that good stuff. It's become one of those things where an underground scene has pretty much overnight transferred to an industry. So as such, I had to coordinate. And with all the coronavirus stuff going on right now, all these hard times hitting, I'm just doing what I've always known, which is get back to the grind and gear up for show season again.
For my audience listening, like he said, stay focused, stay on the grind, stay on the grind. Do not watch the news or it's gonna spook you, okay? So check this out. What do you think happens after all this COVID-19 madness?
After everything is done, I think we're gonna see a pretty healthy and packed schedule probably here this fall. The summer's still in question with everything going on, but I know I had a lot of homies postpone tours, festivals getting postponed. From what I see here, probably September through December is going to be big for just about everybody. So there's going to be a lot of back-to-back weekends, a lot of shows get paired together, and there's going to be a lot of unique lineups that we're probably not going to see for a long time to come.
Man, you're right about that. The scene's gonna explode. It's just waiting, you know what I'm saying? It's just waiting and it's coming. So let's get to the Sinister Six artist group. Go ahead and give the audience a little insight of the Sinister Six artist group.
Yeah, so the Sinister Six crew is gonna be it's gonna be Yari, Hugh, Jub, Sizzy, Akios, and myself. They invited me on after some roster changes. A couple months, I think maybe a year ago. It's hard to tell. Time flies when you're having fun with good people. But these kids are the future. I'm the eldest in the group at 23. Most of these kids are barely just 18, if that, making anthems. There's so many people playing these kids' tunes out, and I really think they've got a good grip on how the scene's going to progress as a future, even when some of us aren't going to, be as prominent anymore. They are the future. They are the next wave for sure.
Okay, so you're staying busy, right? You're hustling, you're grinding, you're playing all these shows, you're traveling. Give the fans a quick rundown of what goes on behind the scenes from an artist's point of view. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, I make music, I get found, and that's it. Break it down for them.
Yeah, so, with any artist, no matter what field, even if it's not music, if it's graphic design, whatever you're doing that can be considered art, it's really, for me, it boils down to, at the end of the day, if you're really enjoying it, expressing yourself through it, even if the expression is goofy, if it's dramatic or angry, anything like that, there's a lot of time, effort, tears that come from it. And even if you're just starting out, biggest advice I can give you is just do what makes you happy. That's what I tell everybody that asks me, how do I get started, what's it like beyond the glam and the show pictures, all that good stuff. It's a lot of work, but as long as you're staying true to yourself, you'll find that no matter what you do, you're going to be rewarded with it every step along the way.
Boom, you heard it straight here from my man Neonix on Grimefest Digital. Stay true to yourself, people. Like I said, how about some production tips?
Hey, production tips, no matter what program you're running, what you're trying to sound like, biggest piece of advice I can give you is just be original, be yourself. Everybody is unique, and as long as you can emulate that sound that you want to pull from yourself, then you will be successful. Time is a healer of sorts. As for me, it's basically going to be one day you wake up, you decide that you want to go get after it, and time takes care of the rest as long as you're having fun with it.
So Neonix, how long have you been producing?
I've been started up since late 2011, 2012, going on through today.
What would Neonix of today tell Neonix of 10 years ago?
Honestly, man, and this ties back to school and all that stuff too. And not everybody needs school, but damn, I wish I tried harder. And I apply that to music as well, because I was just, enjoying myself for a while in high school and was just using it as kind of an outlet. And I had good friends that were pushing me to keep making music, but I wish I could go back and put as much, time and love and care into it as I am today, because if you're putting all your heart into it from jump, then, the sky's the limit. Right now, I'm just catching up because I waited, quite frankly.
Special thank yous or shout outs to maybe your team, your management, just everybody who's kind of been a part of your musical journey.
Yeah, I like to shout out all my day ones. I could list them all off. Big producers that have really pushed me to keep going, even when I've been on the verge of stepping down from where I stand, is Fizo. He's always been a real tough love person that's really put me where I need to be mentally to get stuff done. He's also a bitch. Don't cut that out. Keith, my manager, Keith Stewart, he started Square Wave Management. He put a lot of hope into me to take myself in a good direction musically over the past year, and he's done a lot for me. Truly more than a manager, both as that on a professional aspect and as a friend. Really pushing me to work even on stuff that I don't want to work on but probably should. I would say that in terms of music, he's probably my better half. That, and then of course all my Sinister Six boys pushing me to keep going, letting me remix tunes, all that good stuff. They're a good inspirational outlet as well.
All right, so whether it's the Sinister Six crew, rocking shows in LA with Sudden Death and other big dogs like Fizo, Eptic, and many, many more, it's North DFW's own Lee Jennings, aka Neonix. Neonix, I can't thank you enough for your time, brother. I wish you the best on your musical journey. Go ahead and shout out your social media outlets one more time for our audience.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. If y'all want to check me out, you can find me on pretty much any social, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter. My handle is going to be whatever the social media is, /Neonix Dub.
Make sure you go check out my man Neonix Dub on all social media outlets. And we can't thank him enough for joining us tonight on Grimefest Digital, the radio show, the news, the music, the podcast. It don't matter because it's Grimefest everything. Neonix, we out. I appreciate you. Grimefest friends and family, stay tuned.